Hi gang, 2010 Jeep JK inner tie rod sleeve, adjusting sleeve is broken off inside the center link. You want to see how it's done? Grab a cup of coffee and hang out. Okay, so I forgot to turn my new mic on again. So I'm going to have to do a voiceover through a lot of this, but the procedure is going to be pretty simple. So here's the truck coming over. And we're going to do this old school outside in the dirt like a lot of other people would. This is a pretty nice Jeep. People put a lot of money into it. You see it's got the amp research boards on it. The grill, the bumper, the winch, the fender flares, the big tires, LED taillights, the custom hood. So I'm going to be kind of jumping around here and showing you what's going on. Okay, so there's our culprit right there. Sent it over to the alignment shop and they broke it, or they said it was broken. But either way, there's a crack between the knurled part and the threaded part that's on there. That's what we're after to replace. So first order of business is going to be to take loose the adjuster that's there, or untighten it. I believe it's a 15 millimeter socket that I have on there, and well, they either come off really, really easy or they will break in half. Fortunately, this being a Virginia Jeep, people bought it brand new, they did all the work on it, or had another shop do all the work on it themselves, so there's relatively no rust on this. So once we got that loose, close that thing down, because we know everything's rusted, we know everything is stuck, so we're going to attempt to thread this out, so don't be afraid to use it. And just douche it down really good. Now I'm going to take a hammer here and start working that adjustment collar, that slip collar loose. Just some light taps. That's all it takes. Once you get it moving, you can't slide it off the end. There's a locating pin, which I'm going to show you later in the video, that keeps that in place. Alright, so now here, I'm just going to take a pair of pliers and try moving that knurled piece. And sure enough, it just breaks right off from the rest of the threads that are in there. So, now you're committed. You know, this job has got to get done one way or another. So now it's a matter of figuring out how to extract all this. So, of course, things escalate quickly. So I'm going to use a MAP gas torch here. And we're going to try heating it up with that. MAP gas burns hotter than propane, which is why I like it, but it's not as hot as oxy. So I'm going to sit here for a little while and heat this up. Okay, so after carefully heating it up, because I don't want to start burning the sway bar links or anything else, I'm going to take the pliers here and I'm going to quickly realize, well, it's still stuck. Sorry about my shoulder being there, I forgot to move the camera. So, yeah, we're not getting anywhere. So here's a better angle of it not moving and it being really, really stuck on there. Now, the smoke coming off is from the liquid wrench I put on there. And I'm a glutton for punishment, so we're going to throw a little more MAP gas at it. And now at this point I'm done talking and I'm done asking nicely. So now we get out the big fire wrench. And we're going to heat this sucker up. And again, I have to be careful because I have the sway bar link right behind it. I don't want the heat to get into the tie rod end because we're not replacing that. The steering stabilizer shock that's there, that was well out of the way. It looks closer than it actually is. But we don't want to have a condition where we have a thermal runaway fire. So just if you're going to use this method, take your time, get it a nice red-orange color, and you'll hear things popping and creaking, and that's good. That means that rust is starting to let go. And yeah, I'm just going to do some more heating here. So I've got it all kinds of different color orange on, as deep as those threads go in there. So I'm going to grab the old channel locks here, and oh, look at that. Just ever so slightly, but it started moving. There we go. Now we got good movement in there. So now at this point, I can actually take the tie rod end off and finish getting everything apart on here. But we've got good movement now. You know, sometimes it's just, that's all it takes is a little bit of heat to break that rust, and you're golden. I just throw a little water on that just to cool it down a little bit, because I'm going to have my fingers in there and I'll forget that it's hot, and well, that'll be another trip to the emergency room. At this point, it's safe to go ahead and take off the tie rod. So this is a 19 millimeter, I believe, or 17. I'm going to go ahead and run that nut off. There's no cotter pin on these. It's just it's a lock nut. So go ahead and run that off. Now, there's a couple different ways to remove the tie rod. You could use a pickle fork, but you're going to damage the boot. We're going to reuse this tie rod in because it's still good. So what you're going to do is you're going to smack the spindle with a hammer a few times. Now, you saw me almost hit the top of the nut with the hammer. Yeah, like that. Don't do that. Now, in my case, I need more hammer. So I got a bigger ball peen. Old Reliable, I call it. I've had that hammer, it's got to be 35 years. I think my father gave it to me. So you smack it a few times. You saw the tie rod drop out. Take the nut off. That's it. It's out of the way. Now, unfortunately, the tire's in the way. That's a lack of forward thinking. So with the tire out of the way, I'm using a 15/16 wrench here, but you could use an adjustable or a pair of pump pliers, you know, whatever you got, vice grips. At this point, it should just spin out pretty freely. It's just a matter of breaking that rust free. So we got that out of the way. That collar won't come off because it's all walled and oblong. So we'll deal with that later. So right now I just want to concentrate on getting the pieces of the threaded insert out. So here I'm going to fight with the pliers and fight with the two little pieces in there. Try to, you know, get this thing to start budging, start moving a little. See if I can get anything in here to happen. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the adjustment clamp. Get that out of the way so I can actually see what I'm doing. Maybe even try to split the what's left of the threaded insert there. Spread open the end of the center link is split to allow that adjustment. So I'm using a couple of pry bars there to try to open it up a little and get something to move, and you see one part came out. Let's see what this guy's malfunction is here. Let's go. A little bit of time. How about that? All right. So this is supposed to look like this. Okay, so you see where we already have this split here. That's where this was split. And the rest of it just broke off in there. And then this piece here is this piece here. This actually looks like it's going to be the bear to get off. I may have to take a cutoff wheel and cut that because I don't know if you can see, but it's oblong shaped now. No, that wasn't me. That's the way it came back from the alignment shop. But first things first, let's make sure this is going to screw in. Okay. I think we're going to be all right. We'll find out. And I know that this piece was just about run down to the end of it, where the nut here was up against this. So we'll see how close we can get it. Fortunately, the alignment shop isn't too far away. So if I get this thing completely screwed up, well, somebody else can fix it. Okay. So let's get this guy back on. It's got to go there. There is a little divot right there. Okay, see? All right, and there's an opening in the center link for that to sit in. So we know that that's going to be in the right spot. So we got that there. And then put a little more never sees in here. Can't hurt. That just starts screwing in. That's super. This replacement piece, this is a piece from O'Reilly's. Part number is ES 800 893S or 693S. I don't know, I'll look at the box later. There's a left-hand and right-hand thread. So you saw the original piece just has this knurled section here. This one has a nut on it, which I like. It's a 34 millimeter. Oh yeah, that's going in quite nicely. So it's good. We didn't bugger up the threads. Everything seems to be doing what it's supposed to. This pleases me. And we'll just keep putting never sees on it. I don't want to hear from these mutts that we can't do it because of this, we can't do it because of that. And if anybody ever has to get back in here, and by anybody I mean me, I want to make sure it comes back apart. If you haven't heard me say it, working down here in Virginia is nice because there's relatively no rust on anything. The only thing I see rusted is stuff that comes from up north. And being that I'm from up north, I'm from the Rust Belt, I'm okay not seeing it. How we doing? We're getting there. All right. I think that's enough of that. All right. Now, let's go work on this. So, as I said, I don't think that this is going to come off without damaging anything. So I think what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to take the cutoff wheel, zip it there, and then we'll see if it goes back together. Safety goggles. All right. That's that. I don't know whether or not you guys could see. I need to see. There we go. And that'll be fine. Unlike everything else on here, this is a solid piece of steel. Okay, let's go for a helicopter ride. So we're past here. Here's my mess outside. Get you guys right there. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'll lube this up with Never Sees. It's quite a ways in before anything starts, so just got some more on here. All right, so we could tell right about here, okay, right about there, is where this has to go into. That should get this thing close enough to drive back to the alignment shop. Yeah, why not? Sounds good to me. So let's get this guy tightened up. Nothing's moving. So that's a plus. Okay, let's get this guy on here. That on there. Put that on there. a socket. That one will do. I would say the thing I got luckiest about on this job is that I was able to find the wheel lock key. Alright, let's get a torque wrench. I believe it's the same as the other side. It's 63 foot-pounds. Alright, 63. Well, don't feel like 63, but the wrench says it's 63, so either I'm way out of calibration or I've gotten a lot stronger. I'm going to say I've gotten a lot stronger. Makes me feel better about myself. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep, put my sockets away. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty good about that. Oops. I feel pretty good about that. Everything's back the way it should be, except for that. How do we fix that? Let's see. Now, see if I can un-F this. Fortunately, it looks like this is new after the left kit, I think. Let's see. There, now they're both even. Okay. That's done, that's done, that's done. Okay, should be close enough. Alright, only thing left to do is put the wheel back on, torque it. Because they're aluminum wheels, I don't want to run them down with the impact. Okay. There you go. That is how to change out a adjusting sleeve. 2010 Jeep. You know, I guess it's going to be the same for the JKs and even the JLs. But yeah, looking at how this is put together, this is actually pretty, from the factory, it's pretty thick. The aftermarket one felt pretty thin. But, you know, you can see this thing just split itself in half right there and got rusted in there. So without using any really fancy tools, except for my cutoff wheel, this can be done in the dirt, on the ground, in Virginia at 7:30 in the morning. Okay. Well, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to share and like, if you don't mind. Give us a big old thumbs up. If you learned anything, well, good for you. If you didn't learn anything, I'm sorry you weren't paying attention. Or you already know how to do this job and you're just looking to waste time while you're having your morning coffee. Either way, guys, we'll see you on the next video. And as always, until we see you next time, peace.